I was working at a call center, guys. I was talking. My mouth was open from 8 until 5 o'clock. Can you imagine that? Yo, for a whole 2 years. Sorry.
Dear manager, I hope you're well. Please accept this letter as my formal resignation from my position as a customer service consultant at X company, effective 30 days from today's date, 30th May 2024. I appreciate the opportunities for growth, development that you have provided for me during this time at the company. Thank you for your guidance and support throughout my journey. Please let me know how I can be of help during the transition period. I wish you and the team the very best going forward. Sincerely, Itran Mukoni. Bye.
Lord, I know my heart wants more of you. My heart wants something new, so I surrender all.
For the tea that I'm about to drop, I needed some tea. It's about to get messy. It's about to get juicy. No, guys. It's not that deep. Hi guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's your girl Waitiara and Ichamuguni, and I am back with yet another video. And we are sitting down this time. We're not vlogging. Very much excited about this one because it's been a minute. Otherwise, if you're new here, welcome, welcome, welcome. If you are a returning subby, you already know by now. Love. I create content around faith, beauty, lifestyle, and if that is your cup of tea, if you feel like, you know what, I like this girl, boy, be sure to be subscribed. Click on that notification bell as well to make sure that you don't miss a thing. I really appreciate each and every person that takes their time, sit down, watch my videos. It really means a lot. I don't take it lightly or for granted. So thank you so much for helping me to grow. We are really growing and I appreciate that. Let's get into today's video. In this video, I'll be unpacking why I left my 9 to 5, how life has been after that, and what led me to the decision of leaving 9 to 5, and if I actually see myself going back to 9 to 5, and what am I doing currently? What's my plan? Before we get into the video, can we just give a moment of silence for this hair? Look at that. Look at that. So I got this unit from Love Me Hair. It's a 13x4 glueless wig and it's a 20-inch. I did an entire unboxing hair review on my Instagram. If you are interested in getting this hair for yourself, I will leave a link below, or you can go to my Instagram so that you can see it properly and click on my link, and then you will also get yourself 10% discount when you purchase this hair. Please tell me if you can locate the lace because I really struggled earlier. I'm joking. This is a very long overdue video, and trust me, when I left my 9 to 5, I was so sure that I would have all the time in the world to do my sit downs, to focus on my YouTube and all of that, and fortunately, I've just been busy. And I haven't had the time to sit down and actually do a sit down. But today we have the time. I'm very much excited about it, and I want us to get into the video. I want us to address the elephant in the room. Why did I leave? What happened? So yeah, let's get into it. So the reason why I left my 9 to 5 is because I was not happy. Firstly, where I was working is not necessarily what I studied for. So in varsity, I studied community development and leadership studies, which was also not part of what I wanted to do initially. But due to finances at home and that being the only option because of NSFAS and my grades, that was the only option that I had to do at that time. So the plan was that just take the opportunity, and then in your second year, you can then change into something that you want to do. I get into varsity, I do that for the year, and I realize that, damn, I don't like what I'm doing. And unfortunately, yeah, my parents were like, we think it's best that you complete your degree, because if you don't, you'll never finish anything. So unfortunately, well, it was unfortunate. I completed my degree, record time, but I was still not happy with what I was doing. So immediately after my graduation, I got this job in the same year. I got my job as a sales consultant. So I took the opportunity, very much excited about it. I mean, I just graduated and I already have a job. And I just wanted to be in a position where I'm also responsible for myself and I'm able to, help around in the house. I didn't really have much that I needed to do at that time. Like, I'm still young. But just so that I can, start saving and just work towards my goal and just live the life that I want and not bother other people. I used to be a financial advisor at an insurance company. I don't want to mention names, but yeah, I was part of that large group. And I started as a sales consultant, and then I moved on to be a customer service consultant, which was the worst decision ever made. Not necessarily because of the money, but also like, damn, the grass was definitely not greener. It was burned. Yeah, I started the job, cool. Everything went well. I had the best managers ever. Guys, I will never forget that man. Like, even when I left his team and I was moving over to the consultant, and I told him when I got there that actually I'm not happy. I don't know why I moved and all of that. And I told him when I was about to resign, he was like, you can always come back. But at that time, I was so traumatized. I was so fed up. I was like, no, I am out. I appreciate it, but let me just go home, think about it. And if I feel like I still want to come back, I know I can always come back to you. But after what I just experienced, there is no way I'm staying in this building or in this environment. I am deucing out. I don't know if that's the word, but like, I am out. So I get into sales in my first year. I do very well. I was always top 5 when it came to my sales. Like, I was like that girl that used to compete. I got so very much excited about the fact that you're writing your paycheck. You decide how much you want to earn at the end of the month, which was very much exciting at that time. I'm still fresh. I don't have much responsibilities. I'm just paying my rent, my investments. Oh yes, in my account, I had opened an account just like how other people do it when they get their first jobs. I think that was my way of having a credit score because I didn't have one before the job. So I did that. Nandi, you know what? Everything was flowing. My boss was the best. Like, he was so involved. I got into a workspace and I felt like I had support. If there's one thing that man did was literally hold my hand like this. And he didn't do that to me only, like the entire team can literally testify. He literally held our hand like this the entire process. And yeah, it was so good. And then I spent about a year in the sales department, and I felt like, okay, now it's time for me to move. At the end of the day, my goal was for me to come in this environment and just to grow. So I want to move now to a new department. So then I moved to the service consultant department. And I remember the first day after training, when I sat on that chair, I was like, I don't know if I can deal with this. I just, like, it literally sunk in. Like, I literally felt it in my heart that this was the worst decision ever made. Ngaze ngayisola yezwa ngathi is this what we are supposed to be dealing with? Like, the workload was just a lot. The environment itself was not conducive. I started hearing indaba zabantu that I never heard before, like even people that I don't even know. And like, I just experienced things that I felt like, nah, I'm too soft for this. I'm too soft for this environment. I don't think I'll be able to grow thick skin in this place. But I persevered until it got to a point where literally I had to cry myself to work each and every day. I used to pray for hours for a better working environment. I'm not even proud of this, but like, I was so unhappy. It got to a point where I even had to lie just so that I'm not at work. Sana. And I realized that, you know what, it's also changing my character, my personality, and also it puts me in a position where I have to compromise things that I believe in and my values as well. And I then realized that God, I don't think this is an environment that you want me to be in. So before I resigned, these are the things that I did. I obviously spoke to my parents, spoke to my sister, and just tried to find out from her, because now it's like I'm adding another baggage onto her shoulders, and just try to find out if she'll be able to manage the expenses in the house without my consistent contribution. Because I knew very well that even if I'm to leave my 9 to 5, I'm not just gonna sit with my hands. There's definitely something that I'll be doing to try and help out in the house when it comes to my finances. And I saved up, guys. If there's one thing that I did when I started my job, was to save. I had an account where I saved. Each and every month I made sure that I pay myself before everyone else. I also had benefits at work, a provident fund, and I joined Stockfells so that I know, even if I'm to leave my job, I know that for the next 6 to 12 months I'm still sorted. Like, I'm not bothering anyone. I'm still secure financially. Before you leave your job, you make sure that you do have the support, because you don't want to struggle after that. Like, I have the most supportive family members, and my sisters, guys. Like, when I say my sisters have my back, I really mean that. There's never a day where I'm struggling in 1, 2, and 3. Really, I don't even have to say. Like, they can read the room, they can see it. If there's one thing about me, guys, I'm really scared to ask. That's why I don't like bothering people. That's why I make sure that you see these 2 hands and these 10 fingers that I have, I work with them. I try my best to work with them. You see this face that I have, I try by all means to put it out there and work with it in a godly manner. In Jesus' name, amen. So one thing about my sisters, they've been so supportive. I remember when I told them, before I even told my sister, I spoke to Disa because she's one person that I'll have like serious conversations with, you know. And then I would have those conversations with them. And she's like, okay, have you told your family? Have you told Kev? How does she feel about it? And I was like, I'm so scared. She's like, okay, we're gonna pray about it. When we prayed about it before I could tell my sister and my family. And when I delivered the message out, they received it very well, all thanks to God. They were very supportive. Like, one thing about my mom, one thing my mom doesn't want to see is her kids suffering. Guys. And it's not like we come from a rich family. Like, like, we are literally just making our way to wealth. We're just trying, you know, we're just leaving. But one thing about my mom, she will always make a plan, and she will make sure you don't suffer. I've been diagnosed with depression once, and I think after that she really doesn't want to see me back pursue that. And I also don't want to see myself in that state also, and I don't want my parents to also go through the same stress they went through when I was going through that. So I realized that, you know what, this working environment, this workplace is not doing any justice to my mental health. I'm leaving, I'm dipping out, and all thanks to God. God, like God is so mindful. He's very demure. He's very cutesy. I didn't want to say that. When God plans his things, he does it with so much order. Because I can only imagine, Hore, if I was not born into this family that was this supportive, I would still be in that same institution trying by all means to make a living for myself. Because they'd be like, if you don't do this for yourself, otembe bani, because it's not like we have millions and all of that. So, and even though we don't have millions, they were like, God is gonna provide for you. God is gonna work it out. Just trust God. Like, don't stay in a position where you feel like it's draining you, where you feel like it's compromising your values, where you're not happy. Because at the end of the day, it's only gonna take you to the grave and nowhere else. So I had the best support system, and I'm grateful to God for that. So before you even quit your job, make sure that the people around you got your back, because you don't want to fall into depression because now you're not working and no one is supporting you. Guys, would you tell that I am unemployed? My skin is healthy. I have free hair. All thanks to Jesus Christ. I just got a facial done today. All thanks to Christ Jesus. Like, I'm drinking tea and no sugar. Like, all thanks to Jesus Christ. Like, I am well taken care of. Like, I'm fine. Like, I'm good. Like, life is rosy. Life is very good. Remember that account I spoke about earlier? I had to close that off because I didn't want any debt in my name. So I paid it off in the last month. Yeah, before I resigned. I paid it off and I made sure that I cancel it. I close it off. If I want something, I'm going to buy it cash. If I can't afford it, then that's still okay. But yeah, I closed off the account and then I was just left with my policies. Yeah, all of that jazz. I spoke to people. Actually, God sent people my way. It was very weird. Like, I started meeting people who lived their 9 to 5 and we started engaging so much. And they were just telling me how they trusted God in the process, you know, without me even having to ask or even tell them that this is what I'm thinking. Like, how was your life going and all of that? Like, God just sent people and I started having such conversations. And I would bring it up at home, just to check how the mood is, you know, just to find out from the landlord, Hori, hey, are we doing this? Are we gonna survive if I do this, or we're not doing it? So yeah, and then, you know, I read the room and I was like, okay, I think I do have that support. And I think also my sister could see how unhappy I was in that environment, like when I moved. Like, she could see that, Nkosi yami bandla, this one is going do. Like, every day when I come back home, like, I would just complain about something. It wasn't nice at all. I got so exhausted to a point where, you know, when you've been on the phone the entire day, like from 8 to 5, and when you get home, you just don't want to speak to anyone, you just want to do anything. It got to a point where I couldn't even pick up the phone to speak to my parents or anything. Like, a week would go by without me having to conversate with my family because of how exhausted I was. Like, I was working at a call center, guys. I was talking, my mouth was open from 8 until 5 o'clock. Can you imagine that? Yo, for a whole 2 years, sorry. When I got home, I didn't want to speak to anyone. Ngisho nomjolo bese ngitswafisa ngithi yo uthola umuntu afuna ukukhulumisa the whole night. That time you are thinking ukuthi, when I wake up tomorrow I'm still going to be doing the same thing. Uthi wena nje uyavuka uyakhuluma the entire time. Guys, that's when I realized this one is not for me. It's not working. It's really draining me so much. So before I could do it, I think in that month I would constantly fast like every Thursday. Like when I had that burning edge in my heart to leave, I fasted. Before I even told my manager, before I even told my sister that, you know what, I finally decided, I fasted about it and I prayed about it. And I just sought guidance from God so that He can be the one that leads me, and to make sure that I'm making the right decision, and just to let Him know that, you know what, this is what I've decided and I hope it's in line with your will, and I'm just trusting you. I'm just trusting you because without you, veleng you yapi. And at that time, I wouldn't say that, you know what, things are like booming, are going great, I'm just gonna be secured through content creation. No, I didn't have another job lined up, but I knew that I was not gonna sit down with my hands and just relax and do nothing. That is one thing I knew for sure. And I told myself, I even told my sister, I was like, you know what, I have a plan. I don't know how I'm gonna execute it. I don't know if it's gonna work out, but I do have a plan. If there's one thing I'm not gonna do is to sit back, fold my hands, watch you go to work every day, come back, I eat your food, I spend money and all of that in this house, and I'm not contributing in any way. That's not what I'm gonna do. So the previous year, when I was still doing sales, there was a company that I was also in partnership with, which is the Kingdom Child brand, right? I was selling for them. So we're selling together and all of that. And then when I moved to the other department, the business was just down, shut, because no one had the time to focus on that. And then I was like, you know what? I've always wanted to have my own brand at some point. And even though at this point I don't have the resources, I know who can help me. So I went and I spoke to the owners, and I was like, I would like to work with you in this way. And they were like, no, that's fine. Come get the machine. Do whatever you want to do, as long as you make sure that you are still pushing Kingdom Child. You can do anything else outside Kingdom Child. That's still fine. That will be you sustaining yourself and all of that. We don't mind. Been 3 months now, and I'm telling you, I haven't even cashed out my Provident Fund. The process is so lengthy, and I can only imagine if I didn't have my savings, like how was I gonna be living off right now? So make sure that you save. Make sure you save enough to sustain you for 6 to 12 months. Cancel your accounts. You don't want any debts, yeah? You don't want to fall into debts and depression. Say back phonela or credit bureau, but hey, you don't want that. You don't want to block things for yourself in the future. And live beyond your means. Guys, if you see me, there's one thing about me, I'm very savvy. Mina, even today I still take a taxi, because I'm just like, if I can go to Four Ways Mall, taxi is 16 rand. And when I use the Uber, it's like 34 rands. That's like twice the amount. So why not take a taxi and use that Uber money for my entire trip? Smart girl. Smart girl. There's nothing wrong about using public transport, honestly. And it's angnaimot. So live beyond your means. And if you see me here, I'm in Midrand now. I'm in Midrand because I had to go shoot. So one thing about my sisters, they would literally make my life easier. So if I was in Four Ways and I had to go to my shoot, it would have been expensive for me to Uber to there and back. But they called me yesterday. They were like, don't you have a shoot tomorrow? And I was like, yes, I do. They're like, okay, we're coming to fetch you. You're going to sleep in Midrand so that you can live with Norma in the morning, and then you Uber yourself back. And I'm just like, God, I didn't even have to ask. But God being God of order and provision, he always makes ways. So that's just what I'm just trying to paint a picture for you guys, so that you don't think that, you know what, my life is rosy and everything is going well. Like, I do have days where I'm just like, Jesus, yeah, ndiyagoa andinamali, but he always makes ways. Like, he will make a way. He always pulls through. Like, he always pulls through, guys. Ningbona nguma events, looking nice, looking all sassy, fancy. It's all the grace of God. It's not even my power. It's nothing. It has nothing to do with me. It's just God. I'm sitting here and I just want to testify that God has been so good ever since I left my job. Am I currently looking for a job at the moment? Hell to the no. I'm not even applying. I'm not even trying. I'm not doing it. Like, I was so traumatized. I was so traumatized in my working environment that, Jesus, like, I'm so scared. Get about traumatized. Troms, like, ngisasaba namanje to step in a working environment. I remember there was a time where I went to work, like after I resigned, I went to work, and I was so scared to even face my manager. Like, that's how being emsaba mama. Bangitshela ukuthi usemithinini, inhliziyo yami yajabula. Ngabe ngaba happy, ngathi ngifuna ukungena la, ngiphume ngihambe ngakamboni. And angimbona. And happy. I was just so charmed. But yeah, I'm currently not looking at the moment. The plan is for me to go back to school next year so that I can study something that I do enjoy, and just to focus on content creation at the moment and see how we go with that. I'm currently running 2-3 businesses. So one, I customize bottles. The second one, I brand clothing. It's either with my design or your design, whichever. I do that with one machine. Yes. So that's what I'm currently doing. That's how I've been surviving, and I've been getting deals like left, right, and center. I've been getting opportunities to work with brands that also pay me. You know, like the brand life, it's very nice. It's very, it's very good. It's like working on contract, you know. You know, there will be days where it's so dry. Like, it's so dry. But when it comes, it comes like a flood. Everything comes like a flood. Anyways, when it comes, like, it's heavy money. So that's how I've been surviving. That's how I'm surviving. And by grace. And by my sisters. Make sure that you are faithful to God with your salary when you still have your 9 to 5. I never missed my tithe when I was still employed. Now it's very difficult, you know, to be very consistent with my tithing. But I really do try to, because it's not like I don't make any income at the end of the day. I still run a business, even though, you know, it's still a small business. For the fact that I'm making income out of that, the little that I make, I still need to honor God in that. I trust and I believe that if you don't honor God with the smallest things that you have, it will become very difficult for you to honor Him when He gives you millions. Because, yeah, if when I was on 10% 1,000 rands, it's like a lot of money. Imagine if now you have to 10% a million rands. Like, you're taking money to the dustbin or taking money to the drain. So learn to be very honorable with the little that you have when you are still getting your salary, however small, or your income, however capacity it is. Be honorable to God, because His promises are really yes and amen. His promises are you will never lack, and Etran has never lacked. And I think my obedience, and me being honorable in my finances also paved a way for me to be able to live the life that I'm still able to live now, even though I don't have a 9 to 5. So yeah, if you're a Christian, if you're a believer of God, please be honorable with your finances so that you don't lack even in situations that may seem like, I wanna lie, I'm gonna go hungry. God is faithful. He will definitely pull through for you every single day. Yeah. Ngitshela ukuthi anginanesikolo esi1 ngihlila ngingana 9 to 5 just through the work of my hands and through the people that I have surrounding me. I'm still able to meet my needs. And the people that I have around me, the hearts that they have, like, it's not through their own doing. It's all because of God. I'm grateful that it's not a matter of we are doing this for you because we are expecting something in return. No, it's just genuine, and you can also see it. You can also see it from afar that girl is loved and well taken care of.
Thank you, my loves, for dropping by. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and also share it with your friends, your family, your dogs, your kids, and everyone who you think might need it. Thank you, and God bless you. Bye.